Halo, this is the Mega Bloks Halo Covenant Spirit Dropship set. It comes with 2,281 pieces, and in the United States, the manufacturer's suggested retail price initially was $200 even. It, at least in North America, is a Toys R Us retail exclusive, so I bought mine from Toys R Us. The finished product here comes with the stand, comes with a bunch of figures, and it's 25 to 26 inches long officially, which to me, I don't know, it just doesn't look quite as big from some angles as I expected for some reason, but I think that's very subjective. However, on display, just the presence of it, I think, is amongst the greatest things that Mega Bloks has ever done, if not the greatest, and it is definitely the most practical. It has the most usable interior space. These large side pods all open up completely all the way down their entire length, and there's quite a bit of depth of space in there. There's also plenty of height, and these things just keep going. Look at this. This opens up all the way back here, and this is the rear of the pod, but there is more. The front can also be opened up, and that has some space where you can put even more figures, and that's a printed panel piece back there. The rear center section can also be opened up very generously. That has two full-sized front-facing seats, and there is a large printed radar piece in the front of that, and there is a third seat here. You can open up these two little flaps to get even easier access there, and there's another small printed console. Beneath that center rear section is the point defense turret, which can be moved around a bit. It's on a number of joints, so you can also rotate this from side to side, and the whole thing can be folded up completely into the fuselage. The ship does not need to be on its specialized angled stand. You can just sit it flat on the ground. It has the structural integrity in its design to accommodate that. You just have to fold in the cannon on the underside, and there's no risk of breaking off any small elements or bending anything. It won't bow in the center. It has the right amount of strength. This is my favorite area to look at, probably, of this ship here, just because of the level of detail on the insides of these side boom sections of it. And I also really like that very bright silver color that they used in moderation here. This is also designed to be able to hold on to a recent model version of a Ghost, just a single one in the center, but with just a little bit of adaptation to these transparent blue connectors here. I'm sure that you could get older Ghosts to be able to attach to this, and with some customization you could certainly get this to hold two Ghosts. As you saw in the beginning of the video, the set comes with 7 figures. That's 2 elites and Ungoi for days. The Sangheili Commander on the left is a new and exclusive color scheme, which will be very collectible, I think, and it's also produced very well. Very clean lines around the edges. You know, the parts are molded in the pearl gold color there, and then they add on the kind of metallic maroon color as a paint job. But it's just really crisp. I mean, even around this rear section here, just around the edges where it's very thin, oftentimes that'll be, you know, more difficult to pull off on a mass-produced basis, but here it's good. Also around the crown is very good. Of course, it would have been nice to get some coverage around the side or underneath there, but for the molds that they had, this is well done. Followed by the pearl white versions of a elite zealot and also an imperial grunt. The grunt has good printing on it, but that plastic is just a little bit on the translucent side, so it lets some light through, makes it look a little extra toyish and not so believable. The plain grunt minor on the right is a new color. It's that Repex kind of metallic bright slate blue kind of color, but this guy looks really, really good, and you actually get 4 of this exact same character in this set, and the printing on it, the paint applications, I think are really good with the red for the eye, and also the metallic silver. It's that bright metallic silver again around the sides, and also for the top of the methane tank, and also for the breather hose around this side. That and that are definitely my favorite figures. I already casually showed you some of the figure weapons that are included with the set on these racks here, and there are racks on both pods on the insides, but there are even more than this. This is a real jackpot of generosity with these weapons, not just with the number of them. You can see there are plenty more of these included than there are figures to use them in the set, but also the quality and the paint applications. I especially like the gold on the most modern fuel rod cannon here, because it's just a little bit muted. It's not the most shiny gold, not the most metallic gold. It's lower in its metallic shine and content, and it's also not the brightest color. It just makes it look a little bit more like it should be, a little bit more realistic. This is a nice paint application on the focus rifle here from Reach. These are excellent looking beam rifles. You've got two different colors of paint application to these bright silver colored needlers. The molds on the most modern version of a plasma pistol that they have look really good, and then they added a paint application there. The storm rifles look really good, and the concussion rifles, you know, have been underutilized. I think they came out with that mold, and what did they only put it in one set, like a troop pack I think before, so it's nice to get two more of those, even though they don't have a paint application. That center, the magazine, is a separate piece you actually get to insert. There's one disappointment out of all this, and it's the carbine, or carbine, however you choose to pronounce it. I don't care which, both are perfectly correct, but no paint application on that one. They've done painted ones of those before, but given all the other good stuff, I'm happy with this selection. Here's one thing I'm not happy with though. Notice how this is not symmetrical? Well, it's supposed to be symmetrical, but one of these pieces here that goes on the other side, the mirrored version of it, was missing from the set. So once again, I've been struck by the horrible Mega Bloks curse of missing or malformed parts. They don't do malformed parts very much anymore, but missing is still a problem. As a matter of fact, it's become more of a problem over the past year, from what I've seen, than it was the year before that, when things were really getting good. They gave me an extra, one of the left side there, but just failed to put in the mirrored version, so I used some parts from my own stash of extra parts to just try to fill this in a little bit, but I will definitely need to be contacting customer service to get a replacement for this. Here's one other place where a piece was missing and I've made a substitution. This is far more subtle, especially with where I was able to put it, but this square tile right there is supposed to be another one of these more specialized, special angled tiles with the angle on one side. They did include a spare one of these, so I was able to just put that in without dipping into my own stash, but it was supposed to be another of these, so that's another part that I will be ordering. It feels extra wonky to be missing some parts when all of these extra parts were included in the set. And some of these are pretty nice parts. Not only that, this was extra in the box. That 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 was extra in the box. That's really, really exceptionally lucky for me when you consider especially that I like these weapons so much, and I like some of these figures quite so much. So I got very, very lucky, you might say there, but this was not some sort of intentional bonus for me or something that they did to make up for parts that have been missing before, because I'm just a random consumer. I bought this from Toys R Us, sight unseen. It's just another symptom of bad quality control by Mega Bloks at the end of the production line when it comes to putting parts into bags and putting bags into boxes to ship out to stores. The fact that I got all of this extra stuff may mean that there's somebody out there who's going to buy a Spirit that doesn't have any figures whatsoever. That has happened to folks in the past. So really beautiful design on so much of this stuff that they do. But right at the very end is when things consistently fall apart for Mega Bloks, even in sets this big and expensive. It's really disappointing. Before I close out, there's one more thing that I wanted to focus on here. That's the stand. As you can see, the Spirit is not connected to it directly. It just sits on it. And this is another really nice piece of design. It's a whole terrain thing. And when you set that up with some figures around there, it makes it very easy to set up a nice looking little display. And they include the little bases for the figures that kind of match this Arctic theme. They've got a little bit of foliage on there, you know, changes colors, these icy looking pieces. And with some of those spare pieces I got, I could kind of bulk this up even more. Kind of looks like some Rocky terrain, a little bit of earthiness to it. It's really cool. Just has little angled slots where some parts, some kind of feet pieces on the base of the Spirit just slot in there, and it holds the whole thing very securely. So this is another thing that's really well done. So there you have it, the big set for 2016 from the Mega Bloks Halo line. A really, really well done ship. The more that I look at it, the more that I like it, and the more that I look at it from different angles, the more I appreciate those different angles. And the fact that it's so hollow and that you can access almost all of that hollow space and use it to put cargo in there and to put figures in there is really great. It's a little bit above and beyond what I tend to expect normally. I'm going to do a separate video where I show you this in comparison to the other past years, signature series big sets. It was just a little bit too much to go into in one single video here. If you have any thoughts about this set that you would like to share with me, and more importantly, the rest of the viewers, please do leave a comment down below. That's always appreciated. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you'll come back for more, because more is on the way very soon. Catch you later.